Hello out there in cryptocurrency land. Welcome back to Real Crypto. Today's video we're going to really focus on this Ethereum here, and then towards the end we're going to look at some movers of the day. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin, OMG, NEO, QTUM, and Ripple. Last but not least, Ripple. So Ethereum here. Ethereum, we have a huge run up of, I don't know, 3,000%, something like that. Just a massive run up. Yeah, about 2,800%. And anytime you have a huge move like that, it's going to take time to wear off. It actually takes time, believe it or not. It doesn't even necessarily take a huge decrease in price in order for a lot of that hype to go away. It actually takes time. And this symmetrical triangle here implies what could be a very definite time scale until we get moving again. So this line right here is 2018, if it's a little hard to see at the bottom of your chart there. And a lot of these symmetrical type triangle formations will run towards like the last 10% of the triangle is usually when they'll tend to break out. So I would anticipate a move sometime in the first couple of months, maybe month 2 or 3 of 2018, and then maybe we get a much larger price appreciation. And then I would be in very heavy to Ethereum, because if we get past that level, we could get to the point where we see at least a 300% move, in my opinion. Anytime you see a large base such as this, if you look back here, this really looks kind of like a very similar base, right? We have a large price appreciation, and then we go pretty much sideways, although this is a triangle. This is a very similar triangle, and look at how small this looks now. So I'm thinking by the end of 2018, towards the latter half of the year, this is going to look like a pretty small base, and we're going to be all the way up here towards 1,000. So that's kind of my anticipation at this point. Although it's really early to put money to work, we still have a couple of months, you know, anywhere between 2 to 4 to 5 months before this thing finally plays out. But this definitely could be a calling card that you need to pay attention in Ethereum, that we're going to make a move like that. So that's Ethereum. Let's take a look at the day's movers. Take a look at Bitcoin, who's been leading this market upward definitely since the lows of 3,200 in Ethereum, where Ethereum has been very flat. Bitcoin has not been flat. It has been moving steadily higher, and we recently just kind of had a pullback. Let's zoom into the 2-hour chart now that we're talking a little more locally. All right, so yeah, Bitcoin had this nice price appreciation. Actually, this one right here, this is today. But Bitcoin had this nice large, it is actually a channel. You can draw an inclining trend line across here. So right there we have this rising trend line. It was broken to the downside here, and we actually came back up in some pretty nice volume. We're getting a little bit of stalling action here. If we can get above this 43.60 level, then I say we're back off to the races again. There could be a factor that we pull back again into this 42.40 level to get us a little inverted head and shoulders to kind of point us higher. Maybe that's the thing. But for now, we're stuck here in this consolidation, and a break over this 43.60 level will give us a significant move to the upside, most likely. Let's check out Ripple before we look at the other guys. Let's look at Ripple, up 11% today. We actually called this out on Twitter yesterday, right about this 21.50 level. If you don't know my Twitter handle, it's at Real Crypto Trade if you want to follow. I don't post all the time, but I try to post good information and potentially actionable moves, and this one was definitely actionable. We were a little bit late to the party. This was the actual proper entry point, but this is an early entry point, and this would be your proper entry point over the break of the prior high. So from here, we've had a nice price appreciation. Some good volume has come into Ripple, but it looks like we're toppy here at this moment in time. So expect a bit of consolidation, maybe a similar pullback to this action before we continue higher in Ripple. And if we do get higher from Ripple, we have this longer-term trend line that's in effect, and that's a good 15% up from where we are currently. So, you know, maybe potential 15% in Ripple, but I really wouldn't jump in until you have these highs eclipsed. You don't want to be in a situation like this where we're down here, you think we're headed higher, and we just go lower. So you never want to buy in the middle of a run. You always want to buy either at the very bottom, if you're good at picking bottom action, or at a breakout level, which would be like this. NEO, let's take a look at NEO. So NEO here. NEO had a nice little head and shoulders pattern, and it broke the neckline late last night right here. Failed to go to the downside. His actual projection, I believe, was down here towards the 24 handle level. But since then, we've popped up, and we actually have a nice little bull flag forming in NEO now on this 2-hour chart. The volume is getting a little bit lower, although it looks like this bar currently we have some selling, so we'll wait to see what happens with this thing. But if you can get above these highs in NEO, I think that could be a pretty good trade, at least up to all-time highs. If we step back out in NEO on the 4-hour, maybe even the daily, let me zoom out here. If we step out here, we can see the all-time highs in NEO not too far away. Not too far away at 56% or $56 level. It's about an 85% or so increase from here. So keep an eye on NEO. I would definitely keep it on your watch list if it isn't already. I'm sure it is. Let's take a look at QTUM. QTUM, with their swap coming in at this level, looking like it's wanting to go higher again. We had an inverted head and shoulders here, and this is the neckline from that inverted head and shoulders. If you're unfamiliar, a head and shoulders inverted head and shoulders is a reversal pattern. And an inverted head and shoulders means we're going to go higher. An actual head and shoulders pattern means we're going to go lower. So all head and shoulders are reversal, just depends if it's inverted or not. And upon the break of this neckline, we did jump up here quite nicely. We jumped up here quite nicely on some really good volume. Look at these nice volume spikes. Unfortunately, we did pull back all the way underneath the neckline, shook a bunch of people out, came back up, came back down. Now we're back up again. If we can get above this 29 level, I would consider the uptrend intact, and then I would add a position here. Definitely want to see volume coming in as you notice that going over that $29 level. All right, let's take last but not least, let's look at OMG. And the thing I want to talk about OMG is kind of what we did with Ethereum. So OMG also had a 2,500% run up from its ICO. So from here all the way up to here is 2,500%. And if you notice, we were nice and orderly, very reasonable action, popped up, flagged out, popped up. Then we just kind of stair-stepped higher. There was a little bit of choppiness here, but nothing too crazy, right? We didn't really break any lows, but we just continued higher. Then we had this final push to the top. Unfortunately, up here there was lack of volume. But now we have this large choppy behavior, which is kind of what we're seeing in Ethereum, although Ethereum is obviously a little more structured. This OMG movement is, however, not very structured. It does obey trend lines very well. You can take some trades off of here, but you just have to be very diligent with your entries and your exits with OMG. This is not a type of a pattern where you want to hold it for longer term. This is definitely for trading. So, all right, guys, there you go. There's the video. I hope you liked it. Keep in mind Ethereum, potential 2018 entry for a very, very long-term hold, in my opinion, possibly upwards of 6 to 8 months, something like that, at that moment in time. If you like the video, please subscribe. And if you really like the video, click the like button. I'd appreciate that. And YouTube really likes that as well. So there you go, guys. I will see you around. Have a good one.